Hello and welcome to Tiku Gaming. In today's video, we'll be talking about my current KVK lineup and where I'll be investing my almost 950 legendary sculptures, along with my over 400 legendary materials right before the fight starts in 4 days, where Pass 4 will open in our KVK 5 of 1788, Kingdom 1788, and this is our 5th KVK, and I suggest you to save all your legendary material and legendary sculptures right before the fight starts, because the way that Lilith is upgrading or updating its commanders, there's no point of just investing the newest, because only the proven ones, the good ones, will last and will maintain its value. Anyway, let's take a look at my first march. My first march is a cavalry march, and that's Kahan and Minamoto. And yes, I have been playing over 500 days, and this is my lineup in KVK 4, in the past KVK, and I'm still using Minamoto. Is a great commander, and I find Minamoto is slightly better than Cao as a secondary commander, and march speed wise they are the same when when it comes to secondary commander. Cao's top speed really comes from his talent points, not from his skills. And I find Minamoto deals more damage and is slightly tankier. And by the way that the way that I select my lineups is all about damage. It's all about the skill damage each commander deals. And all 10 commanders are expertised legendary commanders. Anyway, in KVK 5, I'll be upgrading, or actually in 4 days, I'll be upgrading my cavalry march. I'll be upgrading Minamoto to XY, and I will be using XY as a primary commander and use Kahan as a secondary commander. And this is more like a machine gun / shotgun. And and these two commanders, they synergize with each other so good. They both deal tons of damage, and they each brings 15% permanent cavalry march speed, a total of 30%. And they also complementary each other very well, because for example, Kahan, his march speed got reduced while he's attacked, and XY is the opposite. When he gets attacked, his march speed actually increases. And together they only need 850 rage points to cast a skill, and that's just so scary. My second march is an infantry march. It's Alex with Charles Martel, and these two commanders brings you the top speed for infantry commanders, and I love it so much, because infantry very often is very tanky, and Alex deals very good amount of damage. Charles Martel gives a great amount of counter attack, and and whoever can catch this march will not be able to kill it, and then whoever are able to kill it will never be able to catch it. I will be upgrading Charles Martel with Guan in 4 days, and that will be my KVK 5's second march, which is infantry march. Guan gives you a decent infantry speed, either 10 or 15% permanent infantry speed, along with Alex 30% infantry speed, and that's still a very fast moving march. And Guan also brings you AOE, and again my second march would have AOE again. That's a very good upgrade. The rest 3 marches of mine are all archers, because again I only use commanders who deals the most damage, and archer commanders are the best in this aspect. Edward Tomaris is my current 3rd march. A lot of people think Edward is not good, but I absolutely love him. He is the quickest archer commander, and one of the only 2 commanders gives you permanent 30% increased march speed, the other one being Alex. I'll be making a commander guide for Edward later, and hopefully cards up on top one day. Tomaris is a dream pair for Edward because you want her to fire off her skill slowly, after at least 10 poison stacks or 10 rounds of poison stacks. And those poison stacks makes the target takes additional 3% each stack up to 15 stacks, or additional 3% skill damage, I should say. For example, 10 poison stacks will make the target absorb an additional 30% skill damage, and everybody, all marches who are swarming that same target will benefit from these. So Tomaris is the best debuff commander if you like to see those red numbers on the top of your enemy. In KVK, now you can see my 5th and 4th march, current 4th and 5th march. So in KVK 5, when pass 4 opens in 4 days, I'll be upgrading and mix up my archer marches. Let's see, currently right now, the 4th and 5th march, they are Nebuchadnezzar, YSG, Ethelflaed, and YSS. There will be 3 commanders. I think I can afford to upgrade 2 commanders, or 2.5 commanders for this upcoming KVK 5. So the 3 commanders I'll be working on, or I'll be replacing, are XY for Minamoto, Guan for Mattel, and Artemisia for YSS. So YSS has a damage factor of 2000 on the field, which is quite good, but he does not have AoE, and two of his skills only work during garrison or within the Alliance territories. Another reason why I'm investing in Artemisia is because she's a very good archer garrison commander. And right now I have YSG and YSS on my wall, and I think having over 50% of my troops being archer, and Artemisia will simply bring my city garrison to another level. Now, as you can see, my 3rd march will be Edward YSG, and my 4th march will be Artemisia and Tomaris, and my 5th march will be Ethelflaed and Nebuchadnezzar. Now that's my lineup for the upcoming Pass 4 opening in 4 days. Okay, so now let's go back to the 3rd march. This is probably the best archer march you can get in terms of skill damage. Edward will give you a 2500 damage factor, and YSG will give you 1700 times 5 AoE skill damage. And not to mention, YSG gives a 50% increased skill damage, which Edward will benefit from it too. But there is a shortcoming of this pair. The skill cycle is extremely slow, because Edward requires 1350 rage to trigger his skill. And he's also slowing YSG down as well. But let's see, this is how we can fix it. The next 2 accessories I'm planning to invest are the web and the horn. In the next video, I'll be talking about what equipments I use for my tactic and why I want to use a web. But the horn is for Edward. Now let's take a look at Edward's talent tree. I'm not sure the English name of it, but I do have his last skill talent maximized, which have a 10% chance to have an additional 100 rage, along with YSG's 10% chance of 100 rage, and along with the horn, the Edward pair will have 3 tools to increase rage for him. And then, this is what's turning a cannon to fire at a machine gun speed, if that makes sense. The 4th march, Artemisia Tomaris, is another great single target / AoE pair. as Artemisia's self-silence will slow Tomaris' skill cycle down to allow her to poison 10 stacks or more, in order to maximize the skill damage taken debuff. My 5th march will be Ethelflaed Nebu, and they will be leading 100% archer troops, no mixed troops. They will deal an area of effect damage of double semicircle, hitting multiple targets, and Ethelflaed's first skill will reduce health, defense, and attack of the targets. Now let's take a look at the talent tree. I did not click any mixed troop talents, but instead I clicked all the possible speed talents. And also I have maximized the final skill talent of Ethelflaed, and it'll give a 10% chance to reduce multiple surrounding troops' march speed by 25%. Along with the web accessory I'm gonna make later, I ensure no enemies shall escape from my trap. Ethelflaed was the slowest march among my current lineup, no matter I pair her with YSS or with Hannibal Baka, since the other 4 marches were just too quick. Now take a look on top left, and the permanent march speed of the rest 4 marches. But by pairing Ethelflaed with Nebu and having 100% archer march, and this march is going to have the mobility and the archer defense statistics it needs. If you find these contents interesting and helpful, please like and subscribe at no cost to you. In the next videos, I'll be showing my current equipments and how I will invest my over 400 legendary materials right before Pass 4 open. Moreover, there should be an episode just to talk about the tactics after Pass 4 open, how I will fight and how to avoid to get caught with all these glass cannon commanders. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.